This is Dr Maria Harriet Stack from London, and I just wanted to update my followers all over the world on the recent developments in my human rights campaign, and just bring everybody up to date on what's been happening in the last couple of days as the campaign gains more momentum. As you see, there's the main heading there, the breaking news heading, and the last couple of days is that the Sunday Times London strongly condemns the 2 decades of bullying of the Irish chronic pain doctor at the Irish Medical Council. And another heading is severe bullying at Irish Medical Council of chronic pain doctor must stop, says Sunday Times London Music TV for Human Rights. I'll just bring you back there to the most distinguished, in my view, senior counsel in Ireland at the moment, and that is Henry Downing. It's really one of the most distinguished legal brains in Ireland, and he has been updating himself on the important developments in this human rights campaign. And Henry actually has been made fully aware of all the history of this miscarriage of justice, because I have updated him personally on pretty much every detail. So he is very well able to comment on the progress of this campaign and pretty much every detail. And of course he is a law genius, so that he really has the expertise in Ireland that very few others would have, possibly the most expertise in this case, because he's in the privileged position of having all the knowledge firsthand from myself. And who else is in this campaign making headlines this week? Oh, the hero of British journalism, in fact of world journalism, the University of Cambridge graduate, the award-winning author, the political editor of the Sunday Times London, Tim Shipman. And of course, we noted the letter from Aoife Stack earlier today, the Dublin law associate representing the Irish Medical Council. And she can never silence Tim Shipman. Neither can she silence me or any of my distinguished followers anywhere in the world. We're all part of the world's media here on LinkedIn, and you can't tell human rights activists to stop campaigning for justice. You just can't tell them. And we don't really have to reply to you anyway, Aoife, because we're on LinkedIn, and you can't make us, and you can't make Tim Shipman reply to you either, because he doesn't have to. Here's another leading luminary in human rights, and that is the Ireland's brightest chartered accountant, Frank Walsh, formerly of tax senior partner in Grant Thornton, Ireland. And Frank knows a thing or two about music, because you see, Frank's brother is Louis Walsh, Ireland's music impresario and X Factor judge. So Frank was watching closely, because Frank knows the value of music TV channels and how much they're worth, because through Louis and the X Factor and the work that Louis does in music, Frank has sort of told me indirectly that you're talking about a huge amount of money. Anything to do with music TV is very, very valuable. So obviously he will be helping us to get to a final figure in a settlement in due course. I would hope Frank will help us. I'm sure he will. But he says that it's not cheap, and I would tend to agree with Frank. And here we have another leading light in medicine and also in human rights, who's looking at developments today, and that is Professor David Kerr. He's a world-renowned oncologist, and he's published so many very good papers on oncology and cancer. Really, he is the leading light worldwide, I suppose, and he has been looking at developments today. I met Professor Kerr a number of years ago, not that long ago actually, in Oxford, when we were discussing this campaign, but also discussing his research, which is just amazing. And then we go to Northern Ireland, also the fabulous Belfast Queen's Council, who will be known to many of you, Gavin Duffy, because he's very famous in the media as well, and he has been checking in developments in this important human rights campaign, and he's a very distinguished QC, and he's horrified about the shenanigans in Dublin as well. So thank you to Gavin for supporting this campaign. There's me there. Just earlier last week, and there's the Nottingham solicitor Drew Dennis, who was catching up with matters in this human rights campaign. There's Professor Kerr again, Gavin Duffy. We mentioned Peter Conradi, the award-winning author, author of The King's War, also author of The King's Speech, which is a very famous film that you all know of, and he is Oxford educated, Brasenose College, and foreign editor of the Sunday Times London. That's Peter Conradi there, you can see him. And then we go to Aoife. Oh dear. Aoife is the Dublin-based law associate. Well, we won't say much more about her, but she sent us that horrible email, and she's on 0035318280600. So please, Aoife, please do not send us silly emails like that again. You're talking to the LinkedIn world media, really, in the Sunday Times here on LinkedIn, and we don't really want letters. Just stop sending them to us. It's a bit of a joke, really. Okay, so we're moving on to a young barrister at law in Ireland who's catching up with developments, Aisling O'Neill, and she's of course catching up with developments this afternoon. Lovely young Irish barrister, looking really quite stunning in her barrister's outfit, and I love those kind of outfits on LinkedIn. I think they show how proud she is of, and so she should be, of being an Irish barrister at law. That was Aisling O'Neill. And who else? Oh, that's the silly letter again. Oh, less said the better. Now we're coming to a distinguished London human rights lawyer, Kenny Singh Vogal, and he's the LinkedIn 2019 Human Rights Lawyer of the Year. Now he's no pushover when it comes to human rights. Well, you can tell there by his super LinkedIn photo that he means business when it comes to human rights, and he's not going to step down for silly letters like Aoife Stack's letter to our organisation today. No, he has no time for that nonsense. So who else? And of course we have somebody going back to Ireland. We have Niall Donald from the Sunday World. He's familiar to you, the news editor, and I'm also connected with him on Facebook. So Niall is having a very close eye on all the posters that are going on in Facebook, which are causing a bit of a stir, but that's the whole idea. And Niall is the news editor of the Sunday World and a very, very clever journalist, perhaps underestimated in Ireland, but certainly not by my group. He is quite an intellectual power of his great intellect, and a very, very smart and bright journalist altogether. And so thank you there. And then we have another leading light from Sky Television, and again a very intelligent business journalist, graduate of the University of Manchester, and that's Sky's business, Ian King, and he's also following this campaign very closely. So there you have it, just an update on the campaign. As you say, we just get back to the main news of the last couple of days. The Sunday Times London strongly condemns the 2 decades bullying of the Irish chronic pain doctor, because that is just, it really has been an appalling miscarriage of justice, which I have 14,000 leading luminaries, in mostly surgeons and physicians, but obviously distinguished members of the legal profession as well. So there we go. There's Gavin again, Gavin Duffy, Professor Kerr, Frank Walsh, who knows a thing or two about music, the brother of Louis Walsh, who's now becoming famous in his own right, and he deserves that because he's very, very bright. And he's an great ideas man too. And there is the hero of world journalism, Tim Shipman. And of course we're back to Ireland's most distinguished senior counsel, Dinner Danny. Okay, so that is the update for this evening. It's good night from me in London. It's Dr Maria Harriet Stack,